Good morning. We're going to go ahead and get this production started right now. But before we do, I'd like to introduce myself so you know who your MC is for today. My name is Dale Nelson, and I'm a retired firefighter and fire chief out of the city of Eagan, right here with you all. And I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to come out and watch this presentation. This thing is really, really important, you guys. Driving on streets right now, it's so easy to get in your car and go somewhere and assume that nothing's going to happen to you, because nothing ever has happened to you. There's a term called normalcy bias. Normalcy bias simply means that I don't think anything's going to ever happen to me because nothing ever has before. And it's easy to fall into that trap. So we're going to show you a few things today because we don't want you to learn through the school of hard knocks what happens in a distracted driving incident or while driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And to kind of prove a point before we get started here, if I could have you just raise your hand, all the people in the audience, if you, a family member, loved one, or somebody you just know has ever been involved in a car crash involving alcohol, drugs, or distracted driving. Could you just put your hands up for just a second and hold them up for a second? Take a look around, guys. It's happening to fellow students all the way around you. So this is a very real thing. So today, there really isn't anything funny about it, but it's just to drive a point home how things can go awry really quick. So we want to show you this, so hopefully you'll never have to experience firsthand the pain that comes with one of these type of crashes. And today marks the 25th anniversary of me doing these things at this school. This is where I started them 25 years ago. And thank you. It's kind of hard because this is the very last one that I'm doing. And so I did some simple math on it. The people that were in high school when I started this are right now are probably like 43 years old, so they're older. And but I did want to thank the people that in the very beginning started this. They didn't have to, but it was students just like what's standing right behind me that care enough to get involved in this thing to bring the message to you. And so before we get it started, I do want to dedicate today my car crash to a little gal by the name of Ashley Nellis. Ashley Nellis died in a car crash at the age of 3, and it happened while I was fire chief, and I responded to this call at 1 o'clock in the morning at the intersection of West Scott Road and El Rain. Mom and Dad were doing nothing wrong, had a little 3-year-old Ashley in the car with them, and a drunk driver broadsided him, striking the car in the passenger side front. And little Ashley Nelson, when I got on the scene, I found her. She wasn't breathing, didn't have a pulse. And I remember pulling her out of the car and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And as I laid her across the hood of the car, I remember the police officer was yelling to me to get gloved up and put on personal protection gear. And I just couldn't do it because this little girl looked exactly like my 3-year-old daughter at home. Ashley did not survive the crash, and the pain that went along with that was just immeasurable. I remember going to the funeral. And the funeral had to be held at Regions Hospital because Mom was so badly hurt. Mom had to be in a rolling, like an emergency room cart to attend her own daughter's funeral. So today we're just going to show you a few things that happen. Remember, we still have about 18,000 people dying on the road each year from alcohol-related crashes, and now the number's almost doubling because of distracted driving. So we want to just bring this message to you right now, so hopefully you'll never have to experience. So this could be a prom night. It could be a night just out having fun with your friends. It could be any kind of scenario that you want. And all of a sudden, you guys are having a great time because nothing's ever happened before. And all of a sudden, when things are going really, really right, having a great time, all of a sudden things start going really, really wrong.
911 emergency.
Yeah, there's been an accident.
Okay, where's it at?
Diffley and Braddock, I believe it is. Near the high school.
Okay, Is anybody hurt?
I believe so. There's just a person laying outside with blood all over the place. You're going to get some help here right away.
Okay, calm down. And what's your name?
My name is Jack Smith.
Hey, Jack. Were you involved in an accident?
No, ma'am, I just drove by it, and there's some lady there helping them out, but told me to call an ambulance. But man, it looks really bad. I think there's people trapped.
Okay, Jack. What's your home address?
My home address is 4215 Braddock Trail.
Okay, and your home phone number?
681-0259.
Okay.
3311, 3341. We have a report of a 1052 at Diffley and Braddock. That's a 1052 Diffley and Braddock for 3311 and 41. I'll be 10-6 starting rescue.
As our production starts out here, you can see it's a two-car accident. Multiple people, and we have two victims that did not survive the crash. One was ejected through the windshield of the car, and the other one got ejected from the car and is now laying on the pavement. First arriving agencies in something like this is going to be your police department, and they've got the daunting task of trying to keep people separated, trying to bring this whole thing into some sort of safety. They got to control traffic, they got to control people, and they also have to begin the process of medically evaluating people, also known as triaging the people.
I'll take this individual here.
Drinking her name, man? Yes?
What's your name?
Step over this way.
Okay. Were you the driver of the vehicle here? What vehicle were you driving? You're driving this one? What's your first name? Jack, you want to come step over here for me? Do you have anything on you that's going to harm me or hurt me or anything at this time? All right, why don't you just turn around here for a second, okay? I'm just going to search your person for my safety, okay?
You're not helping him! Just take him up this way.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure we were safe there.
While some of our police officers begin the triage process, checking to see who the most injured are, and begin the process of treating for medicals.
How much have you had to drink tonight?
We have the other police officers over here dealing with the driver of the car, who they assume is under the influence. So he's going to begin the process of trying to do what they call a sobriety test.
And you've said you had a couple beers. How long ago do you think that was? About an hour or so ago? Okay. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through a few assessments here quick.
Also arriving on the scene is your fire department.
While I'm doing these assessments,
they're here to help with extrication and also be prepared in the event that one of these cars might be involved in a fire,
feet together like this and like that, okay? Have you had any brain injuries or anything like that in the near recent past? Nothing. Do you wear glasses or contacts or anything like that? Can you see my finger right here? Can you see my finger there? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be moving my finger from side to side. I want you to follow it just with your eyes and don't move your head, okay? Do you understand my instructions? Okay. Keep standing like this, though, while I do this assessment, okay?
Also on the scene, Health East Ambulance is here with their paramedics.
Just follow with your eyes, not your head, okay?
To begin the packaging process
right?
and the transportation process for moving these people to the closest trauma center. Because there was a fatal here, fatalities, Minnesota State Patrol is also here. Their task is to start doing reconstruction on the accident. So our drunk driver back here, who's going through a field sobriety test, once he's determined that he's under the influence of alcohol, he will be arrested, booked, and he's going to make his way through the Dakota County court process, and the prosecutor is going to use in great detail all the information that the State Patrol is going to provide them on what they feel happened.
Okay, I'm going to run you through a few more assessments. Have you had any hip injuries, knee injuries, ankle injury, anything like that? You think if I put a line out in front of you, you'd be able to walk on that straight line and keep your balance? Okay, imagine if there's a straight line in front of you right there, okay? Put your left foot on that imaginary line and put your right foot in front of it like this. Stay in that position until
because some of the victims were actually trapped in the car.
No, stay like this. Until
Fire
I tell
department
you
is
to
here
do
now.
so,
They're going to
okay?
have to
Put
extricate
your
the
right foot in
victims
front
out of the
your left
cars.
foot.
So y'all have heard the
Right there.
term
Stay
jaws
right
of
there in
life.
that position,
It's a very
okay?
similar product
Can
that
you
they're
do that
going
for
to
me? I'll
use to
demonstrate
pry the doors
assessment for
open
you.
so they can
Just stay right
extricate
there,
victims.
okay? What I'm going to have you do is when I tell you to do so, take 9 heel-to-toe steps down that imaginary line in front of you, okay? On the 9th step, make a series of small steps and do 9 more heel-toe steps down the line. It'll look something like this, okay? Count out loud while you do it. It'll go 1, 2, 3. I only did 3 steps, but I want you to do 9, okay?
While the
On the 9th
firefighters
step,
begin the
keep your left
extrication
foot planted,
process,
make
our
a
police
series of
officer
small
over
steps
here is
like
continuing
this,
on
okay?
with his field
Do
sobriety
9 more
test.
heel-to-toe
There's a
steps
number
down
of
with your
simple
hands by your
tests that
side.
he's going to
Count
put
out
this
loud.
driver through
1,
to determine whether or
2,
not he feels he's
3.
under the influence of
I only did
alcohol.
3 steps, but I want you to do 9, okay? You understand the instructions? Okay, you may begin. Uses his hands. Improper turn. Not counting. Stepped offline. Not heel to toe. Are you completed with the assessment? Okay. I'm gonna have you do one more assessment for me, okay? While I demonstrate this assessment, keep your hands and feet like this, okay? Stay in that position until I tell you to do so, okay? When I tell you to, I want you to elevate your right or your left foot, either one of your choice, okay? I'm gonna elevate my right foot. I want you to elevate it 6 inches off the ground, point your toe, and keep your hands by your side. I want your eyes at the tip of your toe, and I want you to count out loud, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, until I tell you to stop, okay? You understand those instructions? Okay, you may begin.
While the police officer continues to do his field sobriety test, what about mom and dad over here? Police officer's trying to console them on the far side of the ambulance here. They're now coming to the realization that one of the kids in their family who did absolutely nothing wrong did not survive the crash and won't be going home with them today.
Okay, you can stop. Are you willing
We're
to
only
provide
about
a
8 minutes into
preliminary
this
breath test or a
presentation,
CBT?
and look at the equipment,
Okay.
look at the
Same
manpower
thing. What this
trying
will
to
do, this will
unweave this
measure
mess.
your breath alcohol
All because
content,
somebody was
okay, at this time.
distracted
Just stay focused
because
here. Don't worry
alcohol,
about that.
cell
That's already
phones,
taking place, okay?
or narcotics.
Just blow into the straw. Just like you're blowing a balloon. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's good. All right, I'll even show you. The legal limit's 0.08 and you're 0.16, okay? That's 2 times the legal limit, all right? Right now, you're going to be turned around, you're going to be placed on arrest for probable cause DWI.
The police
okay?
officer over here just completed his field sobriety test, and he had the driver blow into a portable breath tester. This is what measures the blood alcohol content, or at least what they think the blood alcohol content is. It gives them enough reason to place them under arrest until they can do a formal breathalyzer.
All right, just face the front of my squad car here. I'm going to do a more thorough search on you, okay? Nope, just right here, bud. You got anything in your pants or anything like that? Okay, anything that's going to harm me or stick me or anything? Okay. Got any pockets inside here? Yeah. Okay.
So as the police officers get ready to transport the driver of the car
Put it
to
on that
jail,
side? Okay, we'll bring him on
his
this
life
side.
is
Oh,
pretty
you
much
got the
done
rope
for a
over
long
here?
time.
Okay.
He didn't think this day would ever turn out like it is right now. Never thought he'd be riding home in the backseat of a police
So
car.
see right there. We're going to.
Now he's got to call for an attorney.
Okay?
He's got to call mom and dad. He's going to have to go to court. He's going to be processed. He's going to have the thoughts from now until the end of time that he was involved in an accident because of his decision killed people. And it's going to be a constant gnawing memory for him because every time that he goes and applies for a job, every time he fills out an application for that job, there's a little box on that application, and it asks simply this: have you ever been convicted of a felony? He's got no choice but to check that box. That is going to seriously limit the number of jobs that he's going to be eligible for the rest of his life. Firefighters and EMS are now removing people that were trapped in the car, paying close attention to the potential of injured necks or back injuries. So they're very carefully packaging them up. to begin the process of transferring to the closest hospital. While they continue to do their job, our state patrol is over checking out the vehicles. They'll be doing a lot of pictures. They'll be doing a lot of measuring. They'll be putting marks on the pavement. All of this will be used as evidence in court against the driver of that car. While they continue to remove victims from the car, we already mentioned that we're 2 non-survivors. We have a female that was ejected through the windshield. She was not restrained in the car. She did not survive the crash. Right now, her parents think that she's just out at prom, out having a great time. Parents are excited. They took the pictures that all parents take, their kids getting ready to go to prom. Tell them, see you later. Have a great night. They have no clue that their daughter is laying dead across the hood of a car. And what about this young guy here? Absolutely nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. His whole life got ended in just an instant. A lot of times we think that we can react to things. I've got control over this car, and I know I do the same thing myself. I got this. I'm a good. I can control it. But guys, just 2 days ago, a Minnesota State Trooper was driving on a frontage road in Lakeville. A car came off the freeway, through the fence, and hit his squad car head on. Can you think of anybody that might be more alert than a state trooper driving his police car and got hit head on? These things happen so quick, you don't have a chance to even react to them. They continue to do their measurements. Firefighters continue to remove victims from the car. Our drunk driver is now on his way to the Eagan Police Station, where he will be booked. They'll have him go through a regular breathalyzer test, all used as evidence in court. The shame his family's going to have to go through. Relatives knowing that their son or their relative just killed somebody in a crash. We're now about 17 minutes into the production, and this one went fairly quick. Because it was a nice day outside, it was light out, it was easy to get in and work on the cars. Quite often these things happen in the middle of the night. Cars are in the ditch, sometimes the cars are on their roofs, sometimes the cars have small fires going on, lots of traffic, lots of confusion. And a seatbelt. A seatbelt is so incredibly important. I've been on car crashes, folks, where we thought we had all the victims, and all of a sudden somebody says we're missing somebody. And we look in the tall grass, and there lies another victim in the grass, got evicted from the car. Because of the 2 fatalities, quite often either a coroner or the funeral home will show up on the scene. They've got the task of removing the bodies and bringing them either to the medical examiner's office or back to the funeral home to prepare for the burial process.
Saw you in heaven, would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Time can bring you down, time can bend your knee. Time can break your heart, have you begging please, begging
Well, the funeral home people begin to package the victims to be transported. I assume most of you have brothers and sisters. What if that was your brother or sister laying there? Imagine this morning, the last time saying goodbye to your parents and not knowing that it's going to be the very last time you say goodbye. It's just that quick. Number one cause of death in people your age right now is traffic accidents. And it happens just that quick. So mom and dad of this victim were likely in a hospital right now being treated. They will never see their son again until the day of the funeral. Same with the young lady that got ejected through the hood of the car. She never thought it'd be the last time to say goodbye to mom and dad. It was her prom. It was supposed to be a great night. Her brothers and sisters and relatives will never see her again. It's going to be this just huge empty hole in holidays. What about her birthday? What a painful reminder of what was there and it's gone. Christmas, religious holidays, Thanksgiving. One more empty place at the table. That place wasn't supposed to be empty until the day she got married and moved on. But her life got snuffed out at a really young age. It just isn't fair. While the funeral home begins the process of removing the second victim from the car, you had a pretty good look today of the resources that were involved in something like this. The people, firefighters, police officers, paramedics, state patrol. These are all people with emotions. I think back to that day or that evening with Ashley Nellis. I think back to the day of I remember going to the funeral. I remember talking to the city manager to ask him if it was all right if I went, because I didn't know if that was appropriate or not. And we had a terrific city manager at that time. His name was Tom Hedges, and Tom says, Dale, you know what? I think that'd be very appropriate. Because I was just heartbroken that we just lost a 3-year-old in our city. And again, I went to the funeral, and I had a difficult time here just a couple minutes ago because that song that they just played, I was doing pretty good. I went to the funeral at Regents Hospital. I had on my fancy uniform, sat in the pew in the chapel, ended up in the center of the pew because people were coming in from other sides. And I thought I was going to do all right until they played that song. And there was just no way for me to escape. I sat there and I cried as if it was one of my own kids because I understood that day the hurt. These guys and gals that you see today right now on these trucks in their bunker gear, turnout gear, they take this home with them. You can't just hit a switch and shut it off. They will see things in their careers, police officers, paramedics, firefighters, that they just can't erase. Ashley happened to be one of mine. So this impacts a whole bunch of people. It even impacts the families at home because they'll sometimes see a change in their spouse because of their career. My son went on to be a police officer, and we've talked several times about some things that he's seen, and I can see how it affects them. So it isn't just you having a good time, it isn't just you making a mistake and that affects you. There's a whole plethora of people that get dragged into this thing. Well, there you have it, guys. You got a chance to take in a little glimpse into what happens on one of these things. You know, a lot of times on TV, we look at, we watch TV programs, and we see police officers, firefighters, paramedics. I mean, there's some great shows on. I love watching them and stuff. And you know what? We think, God, these guys are cool. These guys are heroes. We're just people. That's all we are, that we care about people, and we want to help people. So everybody's got a hero. So while you might think of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics as heroes, we also have heroes. And my hero, and I think I speak, safely for the people standing behind me as well, the real heroes here, guys, aren't us. The real heroes are the people that keep this stuff from even happening. So when you're out, from this point on, doesn't matter if it's prom, doesn't matter if you're out having a great time on a weekend, wherever it is that you are, alcohol, drugs, or distracted driving enters into the picture. Be the one to take the high road and take that person that's behind the wheel that you know is not safe to drive and tell them you're not driving. Take the keys away from them. Argue with them. Do whatever you got to do to restrain them. And if they still do it, you're going to have to do one of the hardest decisions, but yet one of the best decisions you could ever do. You see them take off under the influence, you make that 911 call. Are they going to be pissed at you? Yep, they will. But at the end of the day, they're still going to be alive to be mad at you. And you're going to stop this destruction that's going on. So it's you guys that are the heroes. It's a decision that you guys can make, and you guys can help stop this. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you today. The people from SAD, would you see them around the school today? Would you just tell them thanks? Some of your teachers that helped on this. A lot of people, it took a lot of people to put this presentation together today. And they only did it for one reason, because they really care about you guys and they want to get the message out. So make sure you thank them. Thank your state troopers, thank your police officers, your firefighters for what they do. And I would like to thank you for being a most attentive audience. You guys have been really, really good to work for. And certainly I'd like to thank the school here for 25 years of, it's been a real honor serving you. So at this time, you are released to go back to your classes, and I do thank you and wish you a great prom and a great summer.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong.